Sigma men are known for being independent and mysterious, and they have their own values that help them do well in a world that often promotes conformity. Others may find their habits strange or even scary, but it's these habits that make Sigma men so confident and well liked. The fact that they don't behave in the same ways as everyone else may seem odd to some people while being admired by others. So, without further ado, here are 10 things that Sigma men refuse to do. 1. They never take favors from anyone. Have you ever seen that some individuals appear to go above and beyond to help you, even when it is not asked for or unnecessary? It seems like they are trying on purpose to make you feel like you owe them something. Some people may do this because they really want to help or be kind. For others, it's a way to control you and keep you at their beck and call in the future. Sigma men are very aware of this and don't want to fall into its trap. They care most about being independent and know that taking favors can make them feel tied down or indebted, especially if the other person wants something in return. Unfortunately, this is the case with a lot of favors in the world, so Sigma men refuse them to keep their freedom. But that doesn't mean Sigmas are rude or don't appreciate acts of kindness. In fact, it's the opposite. They are very grateful for real kindness and know how to show it in a useful way. They know there are many ways to say thank you or return a favor without giving up their freedom. So the next time someone tries to help you out, you should think about why they are doing it. Is it because they really care, or are they trying to make you feel like you owe them something? And remember that it's okay to say no to a favor if it doesn't fit with your ideals or goals. Sigma men never stop doing what's best for themselves out of fear of looking ungrateful. 2. They never stay quiet when wrongs are done to them. We've all been in situations where we saw wrongdoing and felt helpless to stop it. It could be a boss who treats an employee poorly or a friend who talks badly about a group of people. In those times, it's easy to keep quiet and put our own comfort ahead of other people's rights and respect. But that's not how Sigma men work. They have a strong sense of truth and justice, and they know that taking part in wrongdoing only makes it worse. Even if it means going against the crowd, they won't stay quiet when they see wrongdoing. They know that everything they do, no matter how small, can make a difference. Of course, it's not always easy to stand up for what's right. It can take courage, conviction, and a desire to face things that are hard or uncomfortable. But Sigma men are ready to take on that responsibility because they know how important it is to stand up for what is right. On the other hand, sometimes we see unfairness and decide not to do anything about it. We try to convince ourselves that it's not our problem or that if we say something, it will make things worse. But then we have a nagging feeling of guilt because we know we could have done something but didn't. The pain of conflict is nothing compared to the weight of regret. So Sigma men choose to speak up, stand up, and do what's right, even if it's not the easy way. 3. They never tell strangers or coworkers anything personal. In the world we live in now, it can be too easy to give out too much personal information, both online and in person. We're told to be honest and open, and to freely share our ideas and feelings. This can be a great way to meet real people, but if we're not careful, it can also lead to trouble. Sigma men know too well that being alone gives you power. Sharing personal information with people you know or work with can be a slippery slope that can lead to abuse or even harassment. Sigma men are known for being secretive. They like their own room and keep their thoughts and feelings close, even when they are with other people. Even though they talk to coworkers and other people they know, they never tell too much about themselves. They know that if they say too much, someone could hurt them. This doesn't mean that Sigmas are closed off or hard to talk to. They value connection and sensitivity just like everyone else, but they also know how important it is to protect themselves and keep their own space. So next time, think about how much information you're willing to share and what might happen if you do. 4. They never react violently. This is very important in times of worry or conflict, when emotions can run high and adrenaline can take over. It's easy to strike out in anger or frustration at these times. Sigma men fight that urge because violence usually makes things worse and rarely fixes anything. Instead, They try to find a respectful way to solve the problem at hand. When someone gets angry, it hurts not only themselves, but also the people around them. Aggressive behavior can hurt people's feelings and hurt relationships, which are both hard to fix once they are broken. And with this knowledge comes a deep respect for other people, even those with whom you may be at odds. This makes it easier for them to talk to each other, even when things are tense. So how do Sigma men keep their emotions so well in check? It all starts with knowing what makes them angry and when their feelings are about to boil over. When this happens, they don't act out of anger or to defend themselves. Instead, they take a step back and tell themselves that acting on their anger would only make things worse, both for them and for the other people involved. Through practice and patience, they learn how to stay calm while strongly but politely stating their own views and opinions. This takes a lot of patience, but in the end, it pays off tenfold. 5. Spending a lot of time with loud, chatty people. It's easy to get caught up in scenarios where noise and chaos seem impossible to avoid. It could be a noisy, busy office or a party with lots of people talking loudly. It's easy to get caught up in everything going on and forget about ourselves. Sigma men take care of themselves in both their minds and bodies. They know that being in a very stimulating setting for a long time can drain our energy and make us feel bad. So, they try to limit the amount of time they spend in loud or chaotic groups of people. Sigmas don't totally avoid social situations, but they do put their own needs for balance and peace first, even if that means sometimes staying away from certain activities or groups. This is important for their health. If they don't take breaks every so often, they could get too stimulated by the outside world. Their batteries need to be charged so they can stay on task and get things done. 6. They don't try to bring other people down. Whether it's making fun of someone, spreading rumors about them, or just trying to get ahead by putting others down, this kind of behavior can hurt people both personally and professionally. This causes pain and suffering to spread, and Sigma men don't want to live in a world like that. Putting other people down is a sign of being weak, not of being strong. So they don't do things like that and instead try to help the people around them. By putting other people on a higher level and showing respect for their thoughts and ideas, they create an environment where everyone can do well. They aren't always outgoing, but that doesn't mean they aren't friendly either. They just care more about real relationships than fake ones. Even though they don't have a lot of friends, the ones they do have are close and important. They know that real strength comes from within, so they don't need to tear other people down to show how strong they are. 7. They never use their power in bad ways. Sigma men know how dangerous it is to use their power too much for their own good, while alpha men tend to use their power too much for their own good. Sigmas know that power should never be used to hurt or control other people, like by taking advantage of them or putting themselves first, no matter what it costs those around them. People and communities can be hurt personally and professionally by this kind of bad behavior, which creates an atmosphere of mistrust, fear, and insecurity. Because of this, Sigma men try to use their power for good, not just for their own good, but for the good of everyone instead of being selfish or trying to get ahead by taking advantage of others. Sigma men are smart and responsible with their power, while alpha men want to be in charge. Give a man power, and you can see who he really is, says an old proverb. This is absolutely true. 8. They never live in the shoes of others. In the world we live in now, it's easy to get caught up in a loop of comparison and competition. We compare our lives to those of people we follow on social media or to the lives of our friends and coworkers. We want what they have, so we try to be like them to get something they have. But trying to live someone else's life in the end is pointless. Every person is different and faces their own set of problems and chances. If you live your life according to someone else's plan, you will always be unhappy and have regrets. Sigma men are fiercely independent thinkers who look at every choice from their own point of view and stick to their own values. Instead of trying to meet society's expectations or follow trends to fit in, they make choices based on what feels right to them, even if that means going against the grain. Even though it's easy to get caught up in the rat race, Sigma men won't let anyone else tell them how to live their lives. They like to go their own way and do things their own way. Trying to keep up with the Joneses wastes time and energy and keeps people from doing what's most important, living by their values and doing things that count. 9. They never make people feel like they're dumb. Have you ever seen someone treat someone badly or put them down? In today's world, it can happen all too often. There are a lot of subtle put-downs and harsh criticisms, both online and in person. Talking badly about someone not only hurts the other person, but it also makes you look bad. The Sigma men treat everyone the same, no matter if they are in charge or not. Even when they disagree or have different ideas, they always react in a calm way. Even though they are sure of what they believe, they never call people names or make fun of them. In a world where people don't always treat each other with care, Sigma males stand out without even trying. Just being around them makes people feel safe and secure. They know that respect goes both ways and that how you treat those below you is more important than how you treat those above you. 10. They won't settle for average. Have you ever been happy with the way things are and thought that trying for more would be hard and pointless? Well, this does happen to a lot of people, and this is where Sigma men stop. They know that being too comfortable leads to staying in the same place, so they always challenge themselves and push the limits to hit new heights. It's too short to be happy with the way things are. People tend to think that average is good enough, so it's hard to find people who are ready to take risks and go the extra mile. If you settle for average, you will miss out on all of life's best chances and experiences. This kind of man doesn't play it safe. Instead, he pushes himself to try new things and get out of his comfort zone.